Hi, I'm Fumi presenting the program called Real Robot. So Japan's strategic industries such as wind energy, EV, semiconductor manufacturing, defense industry, as well as industrial robotics, all of these uses motors or turbines which contains rare earth magnets. So Japan imports 100% of rare earth elements we use today, and the production of rare earth elements are concentrated on a small number of countries such as China and Vietnam. As a result, Japan is facing a critical risk of supply chain of the rare earth elements, and once we lose this supply, not only the importing of the rare earth elements, but also whole the nation's manufacturing industry will be disrupted. One approach to mitigate this critical risk is recycling. So in the world, there are already several programs trying to recycle rare earth elements from rare earth magnets. However, none of them have yet reached to the industrial scale. So most of the existing programs are too much focusing on the recycling of rare earth elements from rare earth magnets. However, the true bottleneck is not there, but rather upstream of the supply chain, which is three parts. First, we need to collect the sufficient amount of used appliances, used electronic machineries to utilize the economy of scale. Second, we need to understand where is the rare earth magnets within those appliances. We need to understand and create some inventory or database to accurately know the position of those motors which contains rare earth magnets. And third, and which is most importantly, the process of pulling up the rare earth magnets from the motors, this is the most time-consuming process. And today, it takes 3 hours by manual disassembly process by the experts, which is the tremendous bottleneck for this whole rare earth recycling industries. So here comes the Real Robot program. So in my program, I try to leverage the Japan's advantage, which is we have the stock of industrial robots. So Japan once was the top, one of the largest market of industrial robot, and still we are the second largest market of industrial robot, meaning that we have the in-stock, in-operation industrial robots, as well as some replacement of those industrial robots for one of the world's largest stock accumulation of the used motors. So in the industrial motors, on average, there are about 6 motors in them. So once we create some collection hub or the collection supply chain of the used end-of-life industrial robots, we can leverage this scale economy. Building on this, I will call for the program, the competitive program, which try to develop the mechanical automated disassembly machines. So I will call for the teams, startups or engineering teams, 1, 2, 3, more than that, about 6 to 8 teams, which heavily working on developing some equipment or some machineries to extract the rare earth magnets from used motors. So some team, or ideally, I want the teams who create both the data set of the industrial robots, in indicating where is the location of the motors, as well as some mechanical or other, any technology is welcome, and some of the equipment, developing those machines team. But some teams may be focusing only on either of the database development and the machinery development. Then within my program, I will match those teams and form the new teams. And by using 2 billion JP yen for 3 years, I will try to make the competition of those teams. And my target is the processing one motor in 15 minutes, mechanically or automatically, which means more than 10 times increase in the efficiency of the disassembly process. So from this program, if we succeed, the program will catalyze some global startup or seed of those global startups, such as Redwood Materials in the US, which do the recycling of the batteries, or the Neste in the Finland, which collects all the waste oils from all over the world to create the sustainable aviation fuels. So if we succeed, we can create the seed of those global recycling startups based in Japan. And it may achieve not only the recycling circular economy, but also the economic security of our nations. Please join the mission. Thank you.